You see him, but do you truly see him? There he is, sitting quietly in the corner of a crowded room, wearing a half smile that barely touches his eyes. To many, he's just another face in the blur of everyday life. Someone you walk past on the street, someone you exchange polite hellos with at work, someone whose name you know, but not his story. You see him, but do you truly see him? We live in a world that celebrates noise, a world obsessed with the visible, the loud, the extroverted, the assertive. But some souls live in the quiet. Some battles are fought in silence. And some hearts are only heard when we listen beyond the surface. He's the kind of man who says, "I'm fine," even when he's falling apart inside. The one who shows up for others even when no one shows up for him. The one who carries weight not because he has to, but because he believes someone must. You might think he's distant. You might assume he doesn't care. But behind that guarded look is a soul that feels too much and speaks too little. Not out of indifference, but because he was taught somewhere along the way that emotions make you weak. And silence makes you strong. But is it strength? Or is it a quiet surrender to a world that never stopped to truly ask, "Are you okay?" The story he never tells, he was once a little boy with wonder in his eyes. He believed in heroes, in kindness, in dreams. But life has a way of teaching lessons too soon. Maybe it was the father who told him to man up when he cried, or the schoolmates who mocked his softness, or the heartbreak that whispered, "Never trust again." So he built walls, not out of stone, but out of silence. He learned to hold his tears, to silence his fears, to bury his hopes. He became what the world said he should be: composed, reliable, unshaken. But inside, he still remembers the first time he felt unseen. The first time someone looked right through him. The first time his silence screamed and no one heard. And now, all grown up, he walks through life with a heart full of unsaid words and dreams shelved behind locked doors. He still hopes someone will notice, that someone will pause and say, "I see you." The little things you miss. When he listens, he truly listens. Not to reply, but to understand. He remembers the small details others forget. He gives without asking, loves without demanding. And yet, few notice. He laughs, but it's always a little too quiet. He smiles, but it fades too quickly. He makes everyone feel seen while no one sees him. He carries the groceries for the old woman downstairs. He checks in on his friends at 2 a.m. He's the first to offer help, and the last to ask for it. But how often do we ask him, "How are you? Really?" How often do we hold space for his story without interrupting or fixing? How often do we tell him he's enough just as he is, not for what he does? You see him, but do you see the loneliness behind his strength? It's kind of strength you won't find his battles in headlines. You won't hear his pain in loud cries. His strength is quiet, like the sun rising without applause. Like a tree standing, firm through storms. He chooses kindness in a world that's cynical. He chooses forgiveness in a world that seeks revenge. He chooses to believe in people, even when they let him down. His kind of strength isn't about dominance, it's about endurance. It's the strength to keep going when no one's watching. To show up day after day, even when his heart feels empty. To love deeply, even after being broken. And yet, he wonders if anyone sees the weight he carries. Not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. He wonders if anyone notices that being strong doesn't mean he doesn't hurt. He wonders if he's invisible, not to the eye, but to the heart. The glimpses of vulnerability sometimes. If you're lucky, he lets you in. Maybe it's in a moment of shared silence. Maybe it's the way his voice cracks when he speaks about his past. Maybe it's that one night he says, "I'm tired," and for once he means more than just fatigue. Those glimpses are rare, because vulnerability feels like exposure. And he spent a lifetime mastering the art of hiding. But when he trusts you enough to share, don't rush to fix it. Don't throw solutions. Just be there. Hold space. Listen, because what he needs is not advice. What he needs is presence. Love him differently. He won't ask for grand gestures. He won't chase attention. What he needs is to be seen in the quiet. Notice when his eyes dim. Notice when he pulls away. Notice when his silence lingers longer than usual. Tell him he's doing okay, even if he's not perfect. Tell him it's safe to feel, to rest, to cry. Love him, not just for what he gives, but for who he is beneath the giving. Love him on his bad days, not just the good. Love him when he feels unlovable, because deep down, he's just waiting for someone to say, I see you. I truly see you. And you don't have to be anything else. It's for every man who feels unseen, to every man who has ever felt like he's shouting in a soundproof room. It's the ones who carry their burdens alone, because that's what they were taught. To the ones who feel everything but say nothing, you are not alone. You are not weak for feeling. You are not broken for needing. You are not invisible, even if it sometimes feels that way. You are allowed to take up space, to speak, to feel, to ask, to fall apart and be held. There is courage in your softness. There is power in your quiet. There is beauty in your vulnerability. A world that needs to change, we must start seeing each other, not through filters, labels, or expectations, but through presence. Let us redefine what strength looks like. Let us teach our sons that being a man includes being human. Let us tell our brothers, fathers, lovers, and friends, you are more than what you do. You are seen. You matter. And when someone dares to open their heart, honor it. When someone shares their story, cherish it. When someone says, I'm not okay, don't look away. Because maybe, just maybe, we can create a world where men no longer have to hide behind, I'm fine. A final whisper, so the next time you see him, pause, look beyond the posture, beyond the politeness, beyond the practiced calm. Look into his eyes and listen with your heart. Maybe you'll see the boy who once dreamed without fear. Maybe you'll see the man who still longs to be known. And maybe, in that sacred moment, you'll both realize being seen, truly seen, is the first step to being healed. From the heart to you, who is still listening. These words found you, if they reminded you of someone you know or someone you are, know this. You are not invisible, and neither is he. Let's learn to see again, to see with tenderness, with attention, with love. And if this message touched something deep within you, please take a moment to share it forward. Support this journey, not just with a like or a comment, but with intention. Help us create a space where real stories are told and real hearts are heard. Your presence matters. Your voice matters. And above all, your heart matters. With all sincerity, thank you for being here. If you believe in a world where silent hearts are heard, where strength includes softness, where love means seeing someone truly, then stay with us. Support this channel. Share this story. Be part of this movement of awakening. Awaken mindset #. See him truly #silent strength #men feel too. #break silence. #healing masculinity. #emotional awareness. #human connection. #you matter. #highness is power.